Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Daily DM. Today we're going to be answering a question from Ángel Bodon from my Instagram DMs where he asked me how I found a buyer for one of my horse properties. All right guys, if you haven't been here before, the Daily DMs is all about me answering questions from my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. DMs, coming on YouTube and giving you guys a longer answer to your questions that I couldn't do through these apps. They're so hard. A lot of times I'll give people a really quick 15-second recording and they'll go, oh my gosh, that's so great. But it's not enough. It's absolutely not enough. So that's why we are doing the Daily DM. So again, if you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared with any of your friends, please do that for me. We want to know that we're doing a good job and bringing value to you. So here we are. Ángel Bodon sends me a message and he says, today at 2:28, so about 20 minutes ago, he says, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm talking with a seller that has a 3-bed, 2-bath house with a horse farm on 1.5 acres. I know you mentioned that you acquired a property similar to this one. How did you find the end buyer for this? Help. Okay, I love horse properties. They're amazing. The demographic of people that are buying horse properties, the demographic is super high, but the quality or the quantity of the homes are very, very low. And so the demand is way higher than the supply, which means you can sell them very, very quickly. In Arizona, the only horse properties I own, I acquired on Subject To, and I sold them on lease options to tenants who have the option to buy. What Ángel is actually asking me is not how do I dispo this through creative financing. He's saying, oh my gosh, I'm talking to a seller and I'm looking to wholesale this to an end buyer. So the answer to this is number one, reach out utilizing batch leads, find cash buyers in that area. Batch leads is what we use to find all of our cash buyers. Or number two, one of my best Subto students, his name is Billy. He is in South Carolina, and I'm going to connect you with Billy. Billy's name and number is going to be on the screen right now. So if you need a buyer in South Carolina, then you definitely need to reach out to Billy. But if Billy is not a good fit for it, I would use batchleads.io. If you use the code PACE, you'll get an extra 500 text messages or 1,000 records of cash buyers as your sign-up prize. So go use Batch Leads. It will help you find a buyer all day, every day. That's what we use. So Ángel, I hope that answers your question in a little bit longer form. But here's the other thing. If I buy a horse property on creative finance, meaning I acquire it Subject To or seller finance, I'm turning around and typically selling that out on a lease option. The way that I found that buyer was using Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and bandit signs in the neighborhood. What ultimately brought the buyer to us was Craigslist. We put an ad out there for rent. It got a tremendous amount of activity, and we had to sift through dozens and dozens and dozens of people who wanted to rent that property. We then told people, hey, we have a rent to own program called Lease Option, and I'm not sure if you'd be interested in it, but it does require an option fee. The last property we sold on a lease option that was a horse property was on 223rd Drive in, can't remember the name of the town, but it's way on the west side. It's over by Buckeye. We ended up getting a $19,000 lease option fee as our price from the lease option tenant buyer to come into that property. So we found them on Craigslist. I know it sounds like, people think that there's magic, but it simply is not that magic. There's apps, there's software that let us do our jobs incredibly quick. So in order to find a cash buyer, we use batch leads. In order to find an end buyer, I typically post it on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and bandit signs is the easiest way to go. Some people will ask, why aren't you using the MLS? Well, I love the MLS. The problem is the MLS is typically seen by real estate agents, not by actual buyers. And so what happens, you start getting actual phone calls from real estate agents, not from actual buyers. And then you got to, struggle with real estate agents to understand what you're trying to do. They're trained really just to do traditional real estate. And then you're fighting with them to get them a huge commission. So the great thing about Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and other apps like that is that you can get directly to the buyer, the end buyer, who might not have the greatest credit to do a lease option or to buy it even on a wrap or on seller finance. So I hope that added value to you, Ángel. please ask me more questions in my DMs. I love doing this daily DM show. And anybody that needs help in their business, please hit me up on Instagram, or in about a month, we're going to start answering questions from the YouTube comments. So please go down, make comments down below, and we're going to start calling these questions out and giving you guys quick 5-minute answers through YouTube. Thank you again for being a subscriber. Thank you again for the support. Make a comment, give us a like, and share with your friends. Thank you so much.